I do believe we are broadcasting.
Hey, hey.
Say, kids, what time is it?
The future is coming on, it's coming on, it's coming on, it's coming on, it's coming on.
And we're coming on to you from many places simultaneously today.
As usual, spread out across the universe, at least on Earth.
Yes, none of us are at home, but we're at home.
Yes, we're in our comfy zones. Al and I are back in Aptos. It has been 6 months. February
That's right,
till
yeah.
almost
Major
August.
updates in our little
That's right. We've
family
been
beach house, yeah.
renovating. It's so ironic because, we had the big flood in 23 and that took out the downstairs. But since we were here, we rescued it with the help of friends and family.
Yeah,
and
it's better than
big
ever now.
giant
Yeah,
fans.
with a little bit of magic
The
from
flood
our friends
zone
and
is still intact, but
family, especially.
we all have renovated the upstairs so that it's now less of a kid tribe house and more of a everybody gets their own room house.
Yeah, that's right. And more bedrooms
This
with
place
private
used to
entrances.
be a bunk bedroom, a
Yeah.
trundle bedroom, a crib room for the baby, and a extra overload couch room for the extra bodies.
And today it's a podcast room.
Yeah, that's right. And all of those other kid rooms are now grown-up rooms. They have doors of their own.
Double beds.
And they have double
Yeah.
beds, not bunk beds.
No, upgrade. It's fantastic.
Some of them have their own bathroom.
I know. And separate doors on
We're an adult
bathrooms.
now.
It's a real house. Anyway, meanwhile, speaking of real houses, Bobby is coming from the Mothership.
The Mothership.
Up in the Sonoma County.
It has been many years since we were at the Mothership.
Gregg Helt's place. And
Yeah, we're up here, it's outside of Hillsburg. It's Mill Creek Road, almost at the very end of the road, and it's up very high. It's one of the highest points in Sonoma
yeah, it looks like a nice background. How would you describe the flora and the fauna there?
It's finally grown back in the 2020 August fire. The surrounding area here for about a mile, the fire came through, but this house miraculously survived.
And it's
Yes,
the house
it's a
it is.
spaceship.
Yeah,
I
it's
bet he
amazing
took
place.
off. I bet he watched from the cloud layer.
Yeah.
Did he have any
In the
secrets like a force field or something?
I'll bring him in a little bit later.
Yeah, okay.
When you want to talk about it, I'll grab him and be glad to talk about it.
Yeah, we'll get into it. Yeah, so you're up there. It was Katia's birthday yesterday.
Yes. Yeah.
What did you guys do for her birthday?
We went to Hillsburg. There's lots of great restaurants there now. I went to high school here.
Oh, you did?
Kidding.
Oh,
Yes.
really?
Oh,
Hillsburg.
man.
Yeah.
Keep finding out all these new layers about you, Bobby.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was on the wrestling team in my junior year.
Wrestling team? You?
Yeah, I was undefeated in all Sonoma County in my weight class. And it's the first our high school ever got a pennant, and they won the whole league here in Sonoma County. So
Well, congratulations. Days of glory.
Yeah.
That's great. That was a good launch.
Yeah, fantastic. How many people were in your weight class?
Well, it was just me, but I usually weighed about 108. I was a junior in high school, and I had never wrestled before. So when they would only bring me in because there was another Steve Spalding, he was a little bit younger than I was, and he normally was in the 98-pound weight class. So whenever there was a very tough opponent, they would bring me out. And these guys didn't know who I was because I had never wrestled the year before. So they never seen me.
You had a sort of reputation.
You were the secret
on it.
weapon, just like us. Just like for the Dr. Future show, you're everybody's secret resource.
You know what I did learn as far as superpowers?
Yeah.
I was so terrified when I first came out to wrestle somebody. I don't know if it's adrenaline or something in the brain, but I could slow down time.
Oh, yeah. Dude, talk about that. How does that work?
When you're really afraid, sometimes things start moving very slowly.
Oh, so it's like you stretch out your consciousness between the seconds that are ticking
yeah, it was like an
by.
accident. An accident, things seem to be in slow motion.
Yeah, I think my brain is running faster
Yeah.
and time is running slower.
Or you're processing it more efficiently.
So it only happens when you're got that flight or fight mechanism running, huh?
Yeah, when you feel like you're about to face death, that's what happens.
It kicks in.
Yeah,
Okay, high speed mode. All right, let's. We need a little more data on this issue.
It's come in
Yeah.
handy later on in life. Like certain times where I felt like I was about to die,
Yeah.
it would just click in.
Yeah.
It wasn't a physical thing. It was just a
I
mental
think I
thing.
remember you talking about that after that trauma that you had where the rage warrior kind of followed you guys down a country road, right?
Yeah, well, I was held up by gunpoint in
Yeah, that'll do
Berkeley.
it. That'll do it.
That's how you characterize it.
Oh yeah. Car accidents, held up by gunpoint. What else?
Yeah.
Jumping,
Oh, car
bungee jumping.
accident.
Bungee jumping is probably a
No,
safer
it was
way to do
scuba
that.
diving.
Scuba
Yeah.
diving. Yes,
Yeah.
scuba diving. Almost dying while you're scuba diving. Right.
All right, man, you got
Yeah.
quite a handful of scary experiences.
Well,
that
those
you've racked
those are
up.
experiments or explorations of the edge, and
Well, they would happen unexpectedly. For instance, the first one happened like the year after I was wrestling, and I'm going up this road in Chalk Hill Road, is like between Windsor and Healdsburg.
yeah,
And I thought I'd driven this road many times, but I was late to pick up a new girl to go take her to the movies, drive-in movies.
yeah.
And I'm going about 65 miles an hour, and the car, I take a right turn, it hits this bump, and all four wheels are off the ground. I'm airborne. And I'm not landing in my lane. I'm landing in the opposite lane.
Oh,
and
no.
There's
Yeah.
a truck running straight toward me. And all of a sudden, the time dilation clicks in like really hard.
Wow.
And all of a sudden, I realized I can't turn the wheel to the right to avoid this truck. But I'm in the air. It didn't make any difference.
Yeah.
But it's like, I thought that was really strange. It was like everything was in super, super slow motion.
So, did you feel like you have any agency in that speed? Were you able to like somehow will the car to be out of the way of the truck, or did you
Initially, I was terrified because I thought I'm going to hit head on, right?
Yeah.
And then when I started realizing that this time dilation, well, that means I can do things and watch things coming toward me, and everything would slow down, and I could control that. I'm faster than what's happening. And all of a sudden, the fear went completely away. I was just like amazed that this was happening.
Yeah, there was
I
an
was
Outer
just in
Limits
awe.
episode like that. Yeah.
Whoa.
Yeah.
And the car did come down. The front wheel did hit the road, but I had turned the wheel so far that it spun around 180 degrees, and it came up on its side, and the passenger side came up, and the driver's side on my side. I'm looking to the left, and I can see the asphalt moving, but it's moving very slowly, and I can see every pebble in the asphalt, and it's just moving. I don't know, just like inches every couple seconds.
Oh.
And I realized I'm going to be okay. And then the passenger side, it hit a tree branch and it came back down. And then I drive back home and I call her up and I said, I'm sorry I'm late, but I just had an accident. Do you still want to go to the movies? And she said, yeah. So I drive back out there and pick her up. And I realized I can't even open the passenger door because it had crushed in the door and it was locked. So she had to come in through the driver's side. And we went and saw the movie.
She's a good
And
sport on that.
unflappable
Yeah.
Bobby is just like, well, sorry, I'm late.
Yes, I'm like,
I almost died, went to heaven, came back, Remembered I had a date.
Just a day in the life. Would you like some popcorn?
Buttered.
I called the insurance company the next day and said, yeah, I have a little accident. it was
To
okay.
report.
That was
They
it,
paid
yeah.
for it.
Near death, but the car needs some help.
What did it cost you?
It was already covered. So I think I had to pay like $100 deductible back then. This is like 1974 or something.
Oh,
like that.
okay. It's just an early experience here.
Yeah.
Wow.
Right, formative. Well, do you feel, Bobby, that this is just an inherent nature of being human with divine consciousness, or do you think that there's some superpower that you're tapping into that actually shifts reality, or do you think it's an illusion, or do you think it's an intention?
Something that pops in when we need it.
Well, I definitely feel blessed. And I feel that from what's happening right now, all the pieces are coming together where there's nothing that was of waste in my past. Like everything I had experienced in the past is now, I realize, is an important training for this happening right now. So
So it's a little bit of predestiny.
yes, I think it feels like magic to me, like you're in a movie and things are happening and people appear to me that, oh, yes, this is the reason why they appear to me right now for this moment, for them to learn something. Sometimes I'm learning from them, but a lot of times I'm teaching them
Yeah.
something.
Yeah. Jim Rentoul has a song on that. It's called Preparation for Grace.
Oh, that's a beautiful song.
Yeah. It's about that state of,
Yeah. I'll have to pull that one up sometime and play it.
there's something, it's all coming together. What's coming together is really good.
Yes. Hey,
Hey,
Lisa's
Gregg.
here. Hi, it's the
Oh, no, it's
girl.
Katia.
Hi, Katia.
Hey, Katia.
You look wonderful.
Happy birthday.
Thank you.
Yeah. How's it feel?
Feels great.
Did you celebrate the day in a
Yeah.
special way?
What stands out for you from yesterday?
Enjoying the mothership and the view and the miraculous story of how it came through the fire. Just such miracles, and hearing Gregg's stories of especially these bottle brush redwoods. They're burned by the fire, but they don't, they're so resilient and they don't die, but they come back in this bottle brush form where there's no canopy, there's no spreading, but it's just like in the shape of a bottle brush. And
Yeah,
they're
like all of their branches are splintered sticks of burnt
Yes.
out tree. And
Yeah.
the part that's green is all clinging to the trunk.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, it's very interesting. He's going to come on and say hi. He had great stories of,
Survival.
yeah, just survival. And then coming back and, after, well, anyway, he should be telling these stories. It's really amazing.
We'll get some firsthand impressions of what happened because we are also survivors of a major fire zone ourselves.
Yes.
So we have a lot in common.
Yeah, it's really interesting to connect the show and realize that we're in the survival of the flood zone and you guys are in the survival of the fire zone. So we've got the survivor stories coming in. you
Yeah.
know?
Yes.
Yeah. And we live in the redwoods, so fire is a real thing for us too,
Yes.
as it is for many of our listeners.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right. And fire preparation is really a way of life.
Yes.
Yeah. And it's very interesting how we humans really kind of got it wrong for a long time. It's like we forgot the ancestral knowledge. Supposedly native people were forest tenders. They really
Absolutely.
knew how to manage with fire. Like they would set fires very strategically to keep the brush down and to bring out the fertility of the soil and do things seasonally. And,
Yes.
there's a lot of stuff that we could regain knowledge of.
Bobby grew up here, and I asked him, I said, have you ever seen this bottle brush phenomenon from fire? Well, he didn't, because there were never any fires when he was growing up in the 60s, because it was all about suppression. And same thing with Gregg up here. When that CZU fire hit, there hadn't been a fire here in 80 years.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
My goodness.
Way too long.
That's kind of interesting too, just to think about suppression not really being the healthy strategy in the long run, right?
Well, it's part of it. It's a whole ecosystem of how
it's
to
a delay tactic, but it's
work
not a
with it.
resolution, right?
by itself. No,
Right.
but
Interesting emotional and psychological metaphors there, too.
Absolutely.
hey, also don't forget we're in earthquake zone here. That's all part of our common sharing as well. So
Well, and if you think about the idea of predestiny, I don't know where you guys were. I was in downtown San Francisco for the earthquake, the big one in '89.
I was too.
Yeah.
in San Francisco,
At the
Yeah.
top of 23 floors up in a building that was swaying and listening to the baseball game on the radio with
Woohoo.
my clients. And
Jeez.
for me, that earthquake was the first time that my sense of stability as normal was ever interrupted, because that was the first time that the power went out in the city. You couldn't get where you wanted to go in
Infrastructure
cars or
was
public
cut.
transportation.
But I ask you, did time slow down for you?
Well, I did not experience time slowdown, but I do think I experienced some grace that maybe was just, you
were in the right
little
place at the right
invisible
time.
hands
Yeah.
helping me, because I almost got on an elevator that was going to get stuck for about 8 hours. because I was at the top of a tall building and the power was not out yet, but we had had this big earthquake and stood under the doors and everybody was shocked. And we were like, whoa, well, we better get out of here and get home before the next time.
Well, you never know, though. You might make elevator buddies that, change your life.
Well, yeah, but I was actually really glad to not be stuck in the elevator for like the next
8
few
hours.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, sure. I totally hear that.
Yeah, I was about to walk in and it just looked a little full, so I didn't do it. And then boom, like seconds later, those poor people were trapped.
And did you walk down?
I did. I walked down all those 23 stories.
Yeah.
And happened to catch a ride with my housemate who happened to be driving by in a van like at the perfect moment for me to be able to like flag him down. I mean, it was just so out of the blue.
Wow.
Like grace, like real little evidence of some kind of luck or help or whatever you want to call it, being cared for by the loving universe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We're all here. How about you guys? Did you have a scary moment during the big quake of '89?
I was in the Mission, and so it was more flat. I was in a drugstore, and
Gotcha. Yeah. So you just run outside, I guess.
no, I was kind of paralyzed. I freeze in emergencies. I think everybody hit the floor except for me. I was just like frozen.
Stand still and let the world move.
Wow. Was that like the scariest thing you've ever had to deal with? Have you discovered any superpowers in any of these emergency situations of your life?
I would say that I'm not the best in emergency. What do you think? I'm not the best in emergency.
Not a first responder. That's all right. Most of us aren't.
but when I got home, we were in Coal Valley at that time, and there was a really very nice wine shop. It was mostly French wine. And my ex-husband and I were so sad and chagrined to walk outside and smell all that red wine that was pouring down the gutter.
Oh, no. A little heartbreak for your French soul.
Yeah.
What do you say then? Sacre bleu.
Yeah.
Wow. I got a fortune cookie the other night just to wrap up this idea that we're going through crises and they're really demanding and we have our individual responses, but then they pass, right? Like,
and we learned about maybe we might have some superpowers through the process.
Yeah.
Like I learned about trauma. I learned a lot about trauma just by dealing with the floods, for example.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. And how it could have been way more trauma than it ended up being.
Right. Yeah. Well, having the ocean knock you over and bury you with seaweed is pretty traumatic.
I know. Well, could have been a really difficult moment for me.
Uh-huh.
Could have never wanted to be near the ocean again. No, it's my worst friend.
Could have turned into a phobia.
Yeah, it would train me to not have trust in the ocean. All those things come up if you have a negative experience with the ocean.
Uh-huh. And so
or anything,
what
really.
was it that saved you?
What Bobby was saying, that time tends to dilate. And I felt that too. I felt that the time the door opened, I remembered it in more detail than normal reality. There's more frames per second, if you will, if a cinematic metaphor, more resolution.
The memory got more embedded into your consciousness.
Well, I think it's all going on all the time. It's just that your brain is going on overclocking for a few seconds because it can process much more than normal states of consciousness. And I think that's probably a normal thing. I think probably everyone has that in their code. So we have a good survival instinct as a species.
So do you think that kind of memory is something that's etched into your permanent record? If you clone yourself, you think your clone's going to have that memory?
Some of it. I think a lot of memory is where you are, your environment, your nature of your environment. It's there, and I think that it does teach us about our own superpowers, too. Sometimes you might become aware of things about yourself you didn't know. You might have become, your nose, for example, your smell sense might get as good as a dog's just for a few seconds.
Wow. Yeah, right.
You never know. Really, it's different from person to person, but it might reveal something about who you are and, your special gifts to all of us.
Indeed.
Yeah.
Indeed. It's time to go to break, and my mouse is not working.
Your mouse is dead.
Well, I woke it up. It heard me. It heard me talking.
See that? It slowed up time.
Yeah. Suddenly, we had a little time dilation before the break. All right. Well,
We'll be right back. We've got some good stories, and we're going to also hear from Gregg at some point.
That's right. Okay. Mothership Live and Santa Cruz Beach. We'll be right back. Hang tight.
He's got 1 minute or 2 minutes. There's commercial break. 2 minutes.
The Scotts Valley Chamber of Commerce presents the 25th annual Scotts Valley Art, Wine, and Beer Festival, August 16th and 17th at Sky Park in Scotts Valley. 2 days of fun for the whole family with food, fine art, a kids fun zone, and live music, including the Joint Chiefs and the Lost Boys featuring James Durbin. Join us Saturday for the Cops and Rodders Car Show with over 100 vintage cars on display. And don't miss Dog Day Sunday with contests for all canines. All this and free admission to the Scotts Valley Art, Wine, and Beer Festival. See you there.
We've all heard the story of the 3 little pigs. I'll huff and I'll puff and I'll blow your house down. Hi, folks. Warren Knox here of Knox Roofing. Yes, your home can definitely be built weak or it's time to repair or remodel. Well, here at Knox Roofing, we can surely help you with getting that roof of yours prepared for the big bad wolf or Mother's Nature's anger. Whether it be fire, high winds, hail, snow, or maybe just a doggone wet winter ahead of us, call Knox Roofing. We're here for you. Here at Knox Roofing, we have every type of roof out there for you. Skylights, gutters, insulation, solar can be added to save energy as well. Financing is always available, and our guarantees and workmanship cannot be beat. Summer is here, so give us a call or stop by our showroom in Scotts Valley. The number to call is 461-0634. That's 461-0634 anytime. Okay, thanks, folks.
Get hooked up with affordable cannabis at your locally owned Hook Outlet, where everybody above the age of 21 can participate in the Hook's loyalty program. Each purchase earns you 2% store credit on your next purchase. Get hooked up with the best cannabis at affordable prices at the Hook Outlet in Capitola and Watsonville, or order online at hookoutlet.com. Get hooked up at the Hook.
Okay, welcome back to the show, everyone. Bobby, before we get to our guest, we have a comment from the audience, from Brother Norm, who says, all right, Bobby, I wrestled 155 pounds in high school. He says, staying calm under pressure is what it's all about.
Yes. Wow, that's great.
Yeah.
155 pounds. Wow.
Yeah, 155 pounds, yeah. So there you go. Okay, so...
There you go.
Hey, sorry, I'm son-averse.
Hey.
Not you.
Right.
We were talking about the fire, Gregg. It looks so different out there.
Yeah, it's different. And now 5 years later, I try and see the good parts. Like, we actually have some better views where we couldn't see much before the forest through the trees.
There you go.
Okay. Well, for the uninitiated, you live on a mountaintop. It's like you have practically a 360-degree view around you.
Yeah. It's really nice here. The camera's pointing to the east right now, and you can see out
Mount St. Helena.
You can see the Mount St. Helena, which is about 21 miles away.
Yeah.
Everything between here and there is lower and rolling hills, and
it's beautiful. Just
you get the fog ocean in the morning sometimes, filling the valleys, and then behind it's more close up forest, but it's still about a 360-degree view around the house.
It's just stunning. It is stunning. Yeah.
I love it up here.
Yeah, I can see why.
Poor baby.
Yeah. And Bobby's helping you with the bandwidth now, and the internal.
We installed a mesh unit. He got these 3 Arrow AP units, and there's no transition. It's just seamless across the whole mothership here.
Oh, fantastic!
Moving around.
I had an older mesh system, but it was over 10 years, maybe 15 years old.
Yeah.
I won't name the brand, but it was not serving me well.
Time for an upgrade.
What kind of speeds are you guys getting up there?
So I have a line of sight microwave thing, which Bobby's been showing me some faster cell signal stuff. So we may try switching over to cell, because we have after the fire, they put up a cell tower that's a couple miles from us that you can see from my house. So it actually has become much more practical to do a pure cell-based thing. But for right now, it's like the microwave,
my terrestrial
25 miles away, I think.
Yeah. That's what we got. About 20 miles to Loma Prieta for us.
Yeah. This is over at the geothermal plant, the geysers. They've got an antenna up there.
Yeah.
So our throughput here is relatively low compared to anybody who's hardwired. We're getting like 20 to 25 megabit, but it's actually about 50% better now that Bobby's upgraded us. I don't know what part of that hardware was slowing us down, because the service provider hasn't changed. My monthly rate hasn't changed, but just having Bobby up here upped it 50%. So
right, he's a walking router.
Is that symmetrical, by the way? You're getting lots out as well?
Yeah, it is. We were actually testing yesterday, and oftentimes the upload was faster than the download, just slightly. Wow. But I'm impressed with that. My wife works remotely and is on Zoom meetings like often 5 or 6 hours a day. So having the low latency is really important since she's on Zoom so much.
Yeah.
And we get good low latency from that.
So decent video connections.
Yeah, exactly.
How about your work? Does it take much bandwidth these days? I mean, you're doing modeling and stuff?
If I had more bandwidth, I might use more bandwidth. The last couple of years, I got into some stuff that was using large language models. So, downloading those takes a while for me. But if I really want to download a bunch of big models, I can go down to the Bay Area and plug into somebody that's got a fiber connection and just download them, because it's not like you need to download all the time. If you're running them locally, you download them once.
That's a very unique story, Gregg. You're like one of the few people who goes to the AI instead of having the AI come to you.
This is true. Then, there's some data sets that I'm interested in right now that are terabyte sized data sets that I wouldn't want to download over any in-air connection.
I'd be waiting about a year.
There's one particular thing that I think still the most common way of getting it is a hard drive. They ship you a hard drive because it's like in the hundreds of terabytes. I haven't decided if I'm prepared to deal with that data set yet.
We used to call that sneaker net.
Yeah, exactly.
What about Starlink?
Starlink, I actually had a Starlink satellite, and we are currently kind of not happy with the owner of that company, so we're not using it.
Well, people are saying in their Teslas, they have stickers on their Teslas saying, I bought this before Elon went crazy.
Yeah. I can put that on my email tag. This brought to you by Starlink, but by the way. And I was actually I'm a little concerned about the latency if we did use it, because we're getting 20 millisecond here, which is, if you're hardwired, it's not great, but for wireless, 20 miles away is pretty good. And Starlink is getting better, but you can still hit like 100 millisecond. And delays, that starts to make a difference with a Zoom call if you're the one who's leading the call,
Yeah. Well, I think the future there probably lies in multiplexing your sources if you have several sources.
Bobby's been talking to me about that. Yeah. And like rollover to get faster, or like bonding to get roll over if one starts destabilizing, but bonding them to get faster.
And you multiply. Well, you actually add your download speeds together and your upload speeds together, and it's seamless. And so that the bonding happens.
Yeah. I like to see that at our place too.
So I got you the router. I just have to program it. So one day I'm going to go to your place and
I'll have to give you a good excuse to come by. A couple of things. I'd like to talk a little bit more about the fire, of course, because we have a lot of common. Our county and your county deal with a lot of similar issues along those lines of fire suppression.
Yeah.
But before that, I'd like to ask you how all this AI stuff is affecting your genomics universe.
Well, the last time I had an actual paying job in genomics was 2021. So it was really just taking off at that point. The large language model stuff was really just taking off at that point. And it was part of the, the byline of the company that we're using machine learning. It was referred to more as machine learning when I joined that company in 2018.
And that was the hot buzzword back then.
Yeah. But there weren't that many of the large language models were in their infancy.
Nothing like
there was
today,
some neural net stuff going on, and other types of machine learning. But now it's, I keep track of it. My wife is heading up a project called Bridge to AI, mostly for like medical data, getting medical data in a form that can be better understood by AI to improve healthcare, And so by osmosis, I get to stay current with some of that stuff.
Yeah.
And in genomics, it's becoming a big deal. You probably know about AlphaFold for proteins. They just came out with Alpha Genome, the same company. It's a Google subsidiary now. DeepMind? What is it called? I can't remember.
Well, I remember the folds were very popular for distributed processing models. Everyone could participate in them.
Yes, that was
AlphaFold 2, but the 3 now is completely machine oriented. It doesn't use people to train it.
Yeah. Okay. So now I think within the last 2 or 3 weeks, the big paper came out in Nature on the alpha genome. So similar idea with analyzing genomes and figuring out where the genes are and what they do and how differences in the genes may lead to different proteins and things like that.
Some people are predicting that this could be the end of aging or the end of disease. Do you think anything like as dramatic as that could happen?
Not for a long time.
Really, even with the AI's intelligence and PhD level awareness?
I think it'll help. I think it'll help a lot.
Yeah.
Even before the rise of large language models, there was already a lot of good stuff happening with image analysis to detect, cancers, tumors, that kind of stuff that we're getting pretty good. And now I think there's publications all the time about in this particular disease, if you're doing biopsies or image analysis, now AI is better than most doctors at identifying things, lower false positives and lower false negatives.
Yeah. Do you see a lot of the tools for all of this going in the hands of more and more, not just colleges and universities, but maybe even high schools?
Yeah, for using large language models.
And language models and understanding the human genome and playing with biology.
Yeah, I think it's starting to get incorporated into high school curriculum, just the use of large language models in general, and prepping the future workforce to be fluent in that. For genome stuff, yeah, maybe.
What I wonder is that there were things that we talked about generations ago that are now matured, and they were like cloning, right? Cloning is being used in animal husbandry quite a bit now,
right?
Horses,
right.
And pets apparently are a big category. And
yep, you can clone a pet now.
And then I don't know food, right? Yeah. Food, finding
stem
the best
cells. Stem cell medicine is kind of a clone.
Yeah, stem cell medicine is huge. Yeah, AI is and will even more so in the future help with all that.
How about cloning humans?
Cloning humans,
technically,
it could help with that if somebody wanted to make it do that.
yeah, they could, right? That would be
that gets into the ethics that
it's off planet.
It's above my pay grade.
Yeah, it's Elon's plan to populate Mars.
Right. But
but technically all those things are doable now. It's just it's ethic and social issues that need to be resolved.
I don't know. I got stuck on your Elon's plan to populate Mars. I would say it looks like Elon's plan to populate Mars is kind of like Elon's plan to populate Earth, like the old-fashioned way. Just saying.
Well, your clones would be fully functional. When you say.
I don't know. Let's call Taylor. He's probably up.
Yeah, there's a lot of things you can do off planet that you can't do on planet. But that way.
No rules.
Yeah.
Okay.
No rules.
Sherry 2000. Here we come.
Yeah, it's expanded solar system rules. Anyway, back to the Earth here. We live in a redwood forest. We were on a mountaintop ourselves when the CZU.
I've been there a couple of times. It's beautiful.
Exactly. So you know what I'm talking about. The fires came within a mile of our place.
And what year was that?
It's 2020.
So that was the same series of fires that hit up here, the dry lightning strikes.
I think I remember you were going through some similar trauma with the fire.
CZU.
Yeah. So that night in 2020, August of 2020, it was dry lightning, which is unusual, and it was a super dry season. There were like 1,000 fires started by dry lightning that night. Most of them didn't grow into anything.
Yeah.
But there were so many. And the fire departments were spread really thin because of that. Things that probably would have been caught, it was not possible to catch everything. And so inevitably, was it maybe half a dozen of them grew into major fires, including was it the CZU or something?
CZU. Ours was the CZU. But I'm wondering.
And ours was the LNU.
LMU? LMU. Okay.
LNU. Originally, The fire by us was called the Walbridge Fire.
Yeah.
But then they merged it in with the LNU, which was, I think, including parts of Napa.
So was that a multiple sourced fire as well?
So the one in Napa was also from the lightning strikes. Yeah. Yeah. It was.
So from your viewpoint, with your 360 view up there, what did you see? How did the fire start to...
Funny enough, we didn't see anything. The R's came from behind us. You know, there are 200-foot redwoods behind us here, right? And they're so close to the house that we were like, we're looking all around 360. We can smell some smoke, but you look behind us and it's just a wall of green and woods.
Yeah, that's the camping zone we used to...
So it wasn't until we evacuated and we were maybe 300, 400 feet down our driveway and you look back and then you're like, oh, it's right behind us. Didn't see flames, but dark smoke very close.
So like the giant redwoods, a fire block for you? Was the forest?
No, it wasn't a block. No. It was a block of our site, but
not of the fire itself.
No, it came through our woods. A lot of the big redwoods survived. Redwoods are amazing. Our forest was mixed Doug fir that were almost as big as the redwoods and madrone is most of the big trees back there. Almost every Doug fir that was touched died. They just do not have the same kind of defenses. It's a lot thinner woods now. We've had multiple forestry crews come through and thin out, take out down a lot of the big Doug fir that were within 200 feet of the house, so in danger of hitting the house.
Yeah. What are you doing now? Are you storing more water on your mountaintop?
We don't have more water. There's actually a water program, to set up storage tanks along Mill Creek, the road I'm on.
Yeah.
But it's only in the Mill Creek watershed, and technically we're in the Gray Creek watershed. It's a little point of contention with us, so we couldn't get in that program. But, I have 18,000 gallons in the pool.
And that's true. You have that sizable pool, yeah.
Yeah, and then a 5,000 gallon tank. As best we can reconstruct it, the fire department was up at our house and drained about half our pool fighting the fire before they had to fall back because it was just coming too hard.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well, but it made some difference, you think? You think your house would still be there?
I think there were multiple factors that combined to save our house. So the fire touched the house in places. There were shattered windows. There were melted sliding doors.
That is close. Wow.
Yeah, it touched the house in
definitely.
In a few places.
Yeah, boy.
And we got very lucky. My guest house, which was about 50 feet from the main house, was totally destroyed. It was in the redwoods. We're just outside the redwoods, but it was in the redwoods, so it was totally destroyed.
How much time did you have before you had to evacuate before the fire got?
I think we got the evacuation order around like 2 p.m. on, I want to say August 18th. So I think that lightning strike was August 16th or 17th. I think it was a couple days from the fire.
Yeah, it took a while to build momentum. Yeah,
till when it got to us. And we had heard that there was a fire nearby. We couldn't quite locate how nearby, even though we were looking at some of the online cameras.
Sure, yeah.
We're trying to triangulate where that thing is. And I was like off by like 30 degrees. Do you know about Watch Duty?
Yes, the app.
Really?
Yeah, I used the app all the time.
Yeah. So
Watch Duty. Yeah, it's a great. I didn't know it existed back then, though.
So Watch Duty is, for the listeners, Watch Duty. If you live in California, you should definitely get it. It's across the United States now, too. So I would recommend it if you're in any area that can have fire issues. It is, as far as I can tell, the best way of monitoring fires in your area now.
Yeah, it has all connections to the cameras around the neighborhood, too.
It's connected to the cameras. It's real-time getting information off the firefighters and posting it. The app is mostly a map showing where all the fires are, but then you can drill down into each fire and get lots more detail. And we didn't have that in 2020. My understanding is that it was partially inspired by the 2020 fires that they started developing that app. Because I think
I'm not surprised. Yeah, it's a fantastic idea. I agree with you.
The developers, I think, are in Guerneville or Sebastopol.
Really? Well, it's a local company then.
Yeah. I wish I could remember the name of the developers. But yeah. We met them at some Guerneville festival a couple years ago, and we're like, thank you.
Yeah. Well, let me ask you, Greg. You're being somewhat of into being a geek and thinking about how things work and everything. Dealing with a fire of this nature, do you have any new ideas how to deal or to prepare for a fire?
I have geeked out about that because I can geek out about anything.
Yeah, I know, but yeah, especially since you had to deal with it.
There's like retardants you can put on your house like every year.
Yeah, like the red stuff they drop on you.
Because what's that?
Like the red stuff they drop on you.
Yeah, like the red stuff. But I think you can get a clear version of it. And I've thought about doing that. I haven't done that. I've done a lot of prep. Just clearing a lot of stuff out of the woods was part of it around
just
the
the
house.
detritus in the woods and it's stuff that can start easily. Yeah, it makes sense.
I mean, when I replaced the windows and sliding doors that were damaged, I went from vinyl to fiberglass. It'll take a lot more to get through those things.
Yeah.
I've pushed back some of the garden away from the house. There's a 5-foot zone that's been a California standard for a while as far as what you need to do 5 feet away from the house. Yeah. I think there was just a new one introduced that's a 1-foot zone that's even stricter in some recent legislation. It's not the law that you have to follow that stuff, but it's the guidelines that the insurance goes by about insuring your house and stuff like that. Yeah. So my house is stucco walls and metal roof. So that helped a lot already. You know, it was already a lot more fireproof than most
people's wood houses. Yeah.
Yeah, and in this fire, like many, it was embers falling on the roof that did most houses in.
Embers,
yeah. Unless you're like actually deep in the woods, it's embers blowing from the woods.
So it's really catching the embers. Really, is a defense system for embers would be helpful.
That would be good. A little laser that's see the
ember,
zaps them.
Yeah,
your drone defense system.
Golden Dome.
Ember Patrol.
I've thought about putting like a water system on my roof. I haven't done it.
Yeah, that's good. That's good.
Sprinklers.
I put sprinklers on my roof. I think that works.
I've talked to some companies about that.
They have it for deer.
I use the garden hose with it. You know, and it's better than nothing.
Well, a garden hose and a water sprinkler is pretty amazing for just keeping it wet. You know.
My eaves are, I think they're the proper rating for right now of like 1/8 of an inch holes. So, because that's the other thing is the embers will get sucked in under the eaves into the, the air
into
gaps.
the debris.
And then they're burning in your attic. So I've thought about tightening those up, even with just putting steel wool like over the holes and making it a lot harder for something.
That sounds like a good point of it was an ingress for the embers. Yeah.
We've got now I had an old one of those, what is it called? The pump that you stick one end in the water and you're shooting out water.
No, it's fire hose kind of effect. Right?
It's a fire hose kind of siphon. So
you can stick it in your swimming
pool. The one I have is rated to shoot 200 feet.
Wow.
Yeah, you go from your swimming pool to anywhere.
So it's a big motor, gas powered motor on it.
You just drop it in the swimming pool?
You drop it in the swimming pool and hope you can pull the cord hard enough to start it.
What? No electric start?
As I get older, that becomes a problem.
I know what you mean.
Yeah, because your power is down, so you can't depend on any plug-in systems, huh?
Yeah. Power-wise, I'm a lot better off now too because I have a battery backup system. Bobby's been talking to me about. We've been talking about how to improve it because it's got some problems now.
Sure. I mean, do you have any?
After the fire, we put in a battery system so that we would at least be able to like power my water pressurizer for my water system. So then we have 5,000 gallons. We can take a hose anywhere we want.
Absolutely. Yeah. Power is an essential component. Yeah.
Yeah. And we had historically gotten evacuated maybe once every couple of years, an evacuation order.
Yeah.
Well, we've had fires coming in from Geyserville. I think we evacuated for the Tubbs fire, which, was really did a number on Santa Rosa.
I remember that one.
Yeah. Bobby knows about that.
Yeah. That burned me out.
Yeah. Right. But I think we might have gotten an evacuation order for that too. And other places, it had actually been 80 years since there'd been a forest fire through this region, which meant it was well overdue. Our community on Mill Creek Road here outside of Healdsburg had actually really started organizing in like the year to 2 years before the fire to be more prepared because there were so many other fires going on. And so we had planned a better evacuation route because there's really just one road in, same road out.
Right.
And then my wife Monica had been involved with several other people in this community preparedness for emergency group, figuring out an alternate evacuation route, marking it out, planning evacuation drills, and then we meet at the community center in Healdsburg and go over like how the evacuation went. Did you get the warnings on the phones that you were supposed to get? Did you hear the siren of the car driving around for all the people that don't have cell phones and don't have a phone near them?
Very important. Yeah.
That kind of stuff.
Yeah.
And they had actually put together like a 60-page plan that wasn't just about evacuation. It was about here's the topology of Mill Creek. It's very hilly, very hard to navigate. One road in, one road out. It's been 80 years since there was a fire. Here's what that means. Here's our proposals for how to mitigate possibility of fire, how to mitigate the damage that a fire does when it starts, how to get everyone out. They had just put that out, I think, maybe 4 months before the fire.
Wow.
Yeah.
And the fire department had a copy of that. The fire department had a copy of improved maps that they had put out and in collaboration with the fire department. And those really helped. Those really helped.
Well, thanks, Greg, for that update on that.
Oh, yep. Okay.
We just have to go to a break. It's the top of the hour right now.
Yep.
But we'll be right back. But thanks so much.
Okay.
I appreciate the input.
Back?
Yeah, sure. We'll come back and we can talk
lovely.
more about
I'm going to get a drink then.
Okay.
All right.
Okay.
Enjoy the news, everybody. We'll be right back.
Hey, it's Future Now once again. Welcome back.
Yes.
Go back
we
to
got
this
the
future.
same fun crew. We got
sun.
the Mothership live online.
And who's at the Mothership today?
We got Gregg Helt and we got
Hi there.
Bobby.
Greg. And
Katia
Bobby.
checks in and out.
Every so often. Beautiful
Right.
background up at the Mothership, mountaintop, beautiful place of Greg's. And we were talking about our mutual experience of big fires.
Yeah, and here it is, end of July. We're starting to think those thoughts again. Like August can be dangerous.
And how can we make this year, gosh darn it, even better? No, I mean, in a good way.
And you guys evacuated too, but it didn't get to your house. Is that right?
No, we
That's
were
right.
within a mile. We had neighbors that lost their houses. We were evacuated for a month.
Yeah.
But
our PTSD was like all at the beginning, just because as the fire started, we, of course, have our beautiful mountaintop deck, and we watched the fire crawl up the hill.
You
of
saw
Jameson Creek.
everything.
Yeah,
And,
it was eerie. It was extremely beautiful on one level and completely horrible on another. It was
well, it's the not knowing, feeling like, wow, is that going to come here? What can I
Well,
do? And
like-
realizing that your time might suddenly be really limited, and you have to get very precise about what's important
there's all
and what
that, yes.
to do.
Were you there for the lightning strikes?
yeah. We were out in.
Was
the
it
hot
as
tub.
beautiful down there as it was up here?
Yeah, it was incredible.
I'd never
Beautiful.
seen anything quite so
Incredible.
beautiful in the sky. It was
Yeah. It was
amazing.
just celestial.
But like purple
symphony.
streaks of lightning because they were so bright that they did something to the retina. And
Yeah, they did.
yeah, it was the most beautiful destructive force I've ever seen.
No, after images are
There
awesome.
you go.
It
Yeah.
was- yeah.
Yeah,
Nature. What an artist.
yeah, and who knew that it was going to create this whole experience?
Yeah. Up here, it rained at the end of the lightning strike.
Yeah, you made you
Like
feel
poured briefly, and we're like, okay,
Yeah.
nothing to worry about.
That's right. Yeah,
False hope.
Exactly. Yeah. Isn't that a Star Wars movie? No.
Well, who knows? Actually, that reminds me, as we were evacuating, I had this little premonition. It's almost like I felt like there was a split in the worlds, what you're talking about when the time slowed down. For me, it was like the fear body of knowing that everything that we had dear could just disappear. This might be
Go
our
away.
last moment
Memories.
of experiencing it and looking backwards. And that recognition in the present moment and the emotions of that was very vivid. But then it felt like that's not the path we took. Just felt like, okay, I felt that. And it took a while until it seemed like it was safe to go home, but that intense, poignant moment was just right at the beginning for 1 minute, and then it was over.
Yeah, I think the saving grace was our weather anemometer,
The wind meter.
wind meter. Yeah,
Yeah.
Our security camera was found looking over our deck, and you could see the mountainsides below it. And we gave our neighbors the code to our camera, and people would check every day to see if their house was still there.
And of course, we're on
Oh,
solar
yeah.
power,
Yeah.
so even though all of
we're
the
on solar
power,
power,
all the public utilities
And we had
were
that terrestrial
closed.
dish to Loma Prieta, so we had bandwidth. So we weren't dependent on any cell phone company.
Yeah, so we had real-time data.
Yeah.
Nice. I put in a battery system after the fire. Before the fire, I had a solar system, but it was grid intertie only. So
Yeah.
once the power went out, that was it for any transmissions from here.
Yeah.
So how long did it last before the power went down?
So evacuation order around 2 p.m. that day. We evacuated probably around 4 p.m.
Was it hard to pack?
It was. I did not have a good evac plan for We had evacuated a number of times before and like, oh, it's just another evacuation. But this one did feel different.
Yeah.
And yeah, I deeply regretted not having a better evacuation plan in place. This was the first time we ever drove our RV out of here to evacuate instead of just driving a car, because it felt different. It's like, we might be living somewhere else for a while.
Wow.
But we didn't have time or a plan to get like some of the original art off the walls and stuff like that. That was all left behind. It could have fit in the RV, but we just...
You were in a hurry.
Yeah. Instead of that, I was taking a hose and spraying up into under the eaves to get water into the eaves in the attic.
Wow,
yeah.
Brilliant. That probably helped. I'm sure all that stuff that you did, that's what made the difference. I mean, all around you, everything is gone.
Yeah. We're the lucky ones. Most of our neighbors lost their houses.
Wow. Yeah. Did you hear from any of them? How was the neighborhood communications?
Oh, yeah. There was a lot of communication during and after. There had already been a group me formed as part of the neighborhood preparedness thing and was being heavily utilized, but, you know, nobody could get back in. So there was a solid 5 days where nobody knew anything.
Yeah.
Yeah.
When you talk about an evacuation plan, you're talking about where you're going to go?
Where we're going to go, but also just like what to grab. I mean, I think I had some sort of go bag. My wife was a lot more prepared than I was. Yeah, just what valuables to take, which is not what I usually think of as a go bag, you know?
Yeah. Until
you've
escaped a fire and you realize, like, looking back, wish I had taken that one thing, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Hard drives?
Hard drive.
I took my computer, my laptop, but yeah, everything else, like my big Linux box downstairs, with all the large language model stuff on it. Yeah, that was this was before language model, but a lot of data and a lot of computer generated artwork on that machine. Didn't exist anywhere else.
There you go. Irreplaceable creativity, huh?
Yeah. So it survived.
That's good.
Did your place suffer smoke damage?
Yeah. So there was significant smoke damage. Some smoke will get in anyway, but some windows shattered and some sliding doors melted. So a lot of smoke got in. And in the end, our insurance refused to cover that, which is not what their policy said. I'll just say
they
should have been covered.
Well, what did the
it's
insurance
very hard to
companies...
fight against insurance companies.
I know, right?
Well, especially in a mass situation like that where you're not alone.
All right. Well, let's look at the positive side of it. What were they good for? What did the insurance companies cover that was not a problem?
In our case, we had what people call the insurance of last resort in California.
Yeah, we have that too. Fair Plan, California Fair Plan.
Are you on the Fair Plan?
Yes.
Yeah.
I think everybody is now. I don't even know if anybody has normal insurance anymore.
The insurance company we've had before that stopped covering because of fire risk, like 3 years before the fire, and we ended up with CalFair. What did they cover? The easiest thing to recover was the insurance that covers not the house, but additional structures on the property, because we had a guest house and we had other structures. And so it capped out immediately. We capped out on that coverage immediately. So there was no like contention about that. It's just like, yep, you far exceeded your cap, so we're going to pay the cap. Yeah, that's about the only good thing I can say about it.
Okay, well, that's something anyway.
Wow.
Wow.
Like, I've often wondered if it isn't worth putting that $10,000 a year into a savings account.
Well, we've had friends who have invested in fire equipment instead of paying the insurance company money.
Sure.
Oh,
yeah.
Yeah, that's an option.
I've heard that there's like wrapping paper. You can wrap your house in special.
Oh, yeah. I didn't know about that one.
Yeah. And apparently it's saved for mostly really valuable houses.
Yeah, I hadn't heard of that one.
Well, its goal is to have ember suppression, and it's like that solar blanket.
Right, the solar blankets.
Wear.
Yeah,
it's for your house.
Yeah, Mylar.
Okay. Well, and I've heard that there's foam, that you could foam your house, and the foam would.
I've heard of that one too. Yeah.
And you just foam it out before you leave. I don't know if you do it the inside and the outside, or just.
I think there's some stuff that's similar to that fire suppressant stuff. It's a thing that's mixing air with the liquid as you spray it, so you're basically getting like a foamy substance.
And probably the more radical approach would be the Red approach.
Oh yeah, you know about that one? Remember the fires of Kuwait?
It's how Red Adair put out the fires of Kuwait. the oral derricks.
There's an old documentary about this. It's just phenomenal, from the Iraq and Kuwaiti war, like back in the
the
80s.
first war, the first
the first
U.S.
one.
war.
That's right. Yeah, where Saddam.
Desert Storm.
That's right. He'd lit several of the Kuwaiti, not several, I think probably dozens of Kuwaiti wells on fire, and they're just flaming.
And there's no way to put them out because it's like a giant 100-foot fire on the end of a gas hose.
Like a rocket.
On the end of a gas well.
Reminds me of a rocket exhaust upside down.
Yeah.
Huge.
Coming out the top of the 90-foot pump towers.
For days and days and days.
Yeah, and the wellhead is gone and the pump is just coming out unstoppable.
Right. So what Red Adair was brought in, he's a Texas oil man who knew how to deal with fires like that. And his approach was to use carefully shaped charges that blew the fire out. He understood the physics well enough to be able to know where to place the charge to blow out the flame.
The way they described it, the three components of fire is basically heat, fuel, and oxygen, right? Heat, fuel, and air. And so with the explosion, he was able to interrupt the heat and fuel. And therefore, the air was able to cool it enough to put the fire out before it reignited. You know, it's kind of counterintuitive. They put the fire out by blowing it up.
So if you had some explosives in your house there.
I was going to say, maybe that's not the best way to save a house.
Well, you carefully shaped charges.
It works way better in the deserts of Kuwait.
And maybe blow it out before it gets to your house.
My wife would know more about this. She's one of the heads of the community preparedness for emergency stuff up here.
Yeah.
But I think we saw evidence of backburns that the fire department set here, like on our front slope where it's really just grasses to try and keep it from, to burn out what it could burn before it got to us.
Before it got to you. Yeah.
And that helped. I'm sure that helped.
It did. Yeah, it slowed it down, I'm sure.
Yeah.
But like you say, the big danger is the embers in the wind.
Yeah, the embers. Yeah, the ember catchers and ember. What else would put them out more quickly? Water, air. Air might just make them bigger, right?
I don't know. It's like, what if you had some kind of aquarium on the top of your ceiling?
Those fire suppression chemicals, they're very effective, but they're limited range. You'd need God knows how many airplanes to put out a 55,000 acre fire, which is what this was.
Quite a bit.
It looks so insignificant. We've got footage from our place, from Future Peak.
Why don't you just drop that stuff on your house remotely? Just have something in a tower near the house.
Drone. Let's have drone delivery of fire retardant. Everybody can have their own house.
Yeah, some way of just discharging it when you need to, and you'll have constant security camera on your house.
I mean, if you're in the super rich class, maybe that's a backup plan for you. Is like you've got a charter plane on call. But
the plane's too expensive.
For most people out here, it goes where the fire.
No. Look, I agree with you. But I'm saying we illuminate the plane. Just build a little tower with a water tower that's not water, but this retardant that can just be dumped
on site. Okay,
on site. On site retardant.
Oh, that kind of makes sense.
Yeah. And how would you best deploy it? I guess would be the engineering question there.
So there are a lot of, and you've probably interacted with them before since the fire. There's a lot of like fire prevention companies that will come in and evaluate your situation.
That tree's too close. You get rid of that tree.
That. But also like, let's put sprinklers here and here on the roof, or they would know if there are any standard ways of deploying the fire suppression stuff in response to heat. Yes. My understanding is they're not cheap. No. If you have a $5 million house, it's probably looking into.
I'm looking more at DIY fire. How to make it,
exactly.
What's the best thing that people can do, given a limited budget? Going to Home Depot.
Right, exactly. I really should look more into the suppression stuff that you can deploy, even if it's just spraying out of a fire hose mixed with water. When you find out the fire is coming, you spend a half an hour coating your house. And get out.
And I've seen videos people have made. You probably have too, of people who stayed to fight the fire themselves at their house.
Oh, yeah. Talk about PTSD, man.
And see, a lot of the time, the fire frowns over someone's property, and then most of the flames are gone except for these little spots here and there. And if you're there with a garden hose, no big deal. It's really easy to put those out. But if you're not there, it'll just burn for hours until it eventually sets something vital on fire.
Yeah.
And if there are ways of spotting these little spots, like a little robot that could carry your garden hose over there.
Yeah, I think that's good potential future development. AI and robotics in service of firefighting, even personalized firefighting. Yeah.
That's what it comes down to the home where but there are neighborhood technologies as well. If you look at the LA fires, I mean, there were whole suburbs that were just devastated by that fire. In neighborhoods where you would think there weren't a lot of fire obstructions. But
yeah, well, I think I read some reports, the aftermath of all that was saying like this is very counterintuitive to a lot of people, that you're not anywhere near woods and your house is on fire, but that actually the fuel content of a house is often more denser than a woods.
Right.
So once a house catches on fire, that's worse than a woods catching on fire right next to your house.
Right, because there's so many hot things burning and there's so little distance between you and the other hot things that can catch on in the neighborhood.
When we were watching the fires go up Jameson Creek Road, it was kind of like that. You'd see the fire burning along the road and then suddenly, boom, big explosion, and it was somebody's propane tanks going up.
And you watched like 100-foot tree at a time, like march up the hill.
Then it would start the house on fire, and there'd be a big fire for a while. Then
I mentioned my guest house burned. You could tell it burned hotter than the woods around it. And you could tell by the fineness of the ash in it that it burned way hotter than what was around it once it caught fire. It had a shingle roof, so it was did not make it.
The other thing I reflect on this is fire and Burning Man.
What do you think about that, Al?
Well, I think it kind of prepared me for dealing with house fires.
How to do that?
Yeah, because I feel more calm, I guess, when I saw a big fire. It's like at Burning Man, you get used to seeing large fires without fear. Well, in reality, whenever we see a fire, there's something scary going on around it. It's not a pleasant experience, typically. A fire gets a bad rap in society, by and large. At least the big fires like that. But Burning Man, you learn to be with the fire, sort of like hanging out with it.
I remember one story that you told about how after the burn, there was still a huge fire and a bunch of people were dancing and they all started kind of going in the same direction.
Yeah.
And, circling around the fire. And as they were circling around the fire, people were coming from the outside and it was kind of like pushing everyone closer and closer. And the circle was getting
that was around the big,
towards
after
the fire.
Band collapsed. Yeah,
Some of the people in the middle were starting to feel a little freaked out.
Kind of squeezed in.
And somebody shouted, "Turn the other way." And then, like, the spiral intentionally switched directions and started going away from the fire.
In the center. Yeah.
So, just as lessons learned, when the fire gets dangerous, it's a good time to think about how to turn the other way.
Well, we have a long history with fire, for sure. It's mostly good. It's really allowed civilization to pull itself up.
I'm way more up on stories than actual experiences. And I'm really kind of happy about that.
And mythologically, the guy who gave us fire got in trouble for it.
Yeah. Prometheus, man. Who wants to repeat that story? You want to have your liver pecked at by birds?
Is that a canine there? Is that a little
canine? It is a beagle. She's getting a little agitated down on the ground, so I thought I'd come up and introduce her. This is our dog.
Oh, what's her name?
Leela.
Leela.
Oh. Hey, Leela.
Hi, Leela.
She's a post-fire dog.
Oh yeah, after the fire. Oh.
She has a beautiful coat that I've never seen a beagle with this color before.
Oh,
Describe it, Greg.
It's called a lilac coat, hence the name Leela. It's a two-tone instead of the black and the tan and the white. It's more of a beige and white.
Wow.
But when they're really young, it has an almost bluish tint to it, so that's why it's the lilac beagle.
Awesome. Wow. What a
Beautiful.
beauty.
She's 4 years old now.
4 years
Almost.
old? Oh, cool. I love the canines. I think the AIs are going to have a big effect on canine toys very soon. Like, for example, have you seen the robot balls? There's a couple of them out there where the balls will roll around and the dog will chase after it. And
oh, I haven't seen that. We just got one that's stationary, but it's got a camera on it and you can rotate the camera.
Oh,
and you can
okay.
talk to the dog through it, and you can push a button and it shoots out treats.
Oh,
But
yeah.
since it can rotate, it shoots them in different directions. So it's not like the dog can't just wait somewhere for the treat to come out. They have to
Hilarious.
like. So when you're not at home, you can try and keep the dog entertained
And then watch the dog too remotely.
and watch the dog. Yeah.
Yeah.
So what does the dog do when you talk to it through the ball? Does he
Well,
look
we
for
haven't
you?
we haven't deployed it
Oh, you
yet. We
haven't
just
tried it
got
Yeah,
it.
that'd be an interesting experiment. Yeah, let us know.
Yeah.
Sounds cute.
I was thinking that the ball is a natural thing to teach dog tricks and then to learn about things and to maybe make noises when it does the right thing and teaches it language, perhaps, understand barks.
Do you have to bring a special device with you when you travel, or is it a like phone activated thing?
It's an app. I'm getting a call that I have to take. I'll be back in a few minutes.
All right, man.
Okay,
Good
great.
chatting. We'll see you later.
Lila can take my chair.
Yeah. Okay. Well, it's about time to go to a break anyway. So
Oh, good
let's do that. And we'll do a fun assignment. Maybe we'll get some stories in here.
Yeah, just take a break.
Today is the Earth will spin faster today than just about any other day in history.
Yeah.
Yeah. We'll
Hang
talk about that in a
tight
minute.
before we lose a second.
Interesting story.
You want to say hi to him?
Attention content producers. You can have access to a complete digital media production facility at Satellite Co-working and Digital Media Studio on Soquel Avenue. Easily rent video and audio equipment, a studio with green screen, editing suite and audio booth, all at can't say no rates. Schedule a tour to see for yourself at satellitecoworking.com. Mention Santa Cruz Voice for 20% off your first reservation.
It's time to eat healthy and happy. Hello, I'm Carolyn at Charlie Hong Kong. One ingredient that makes Charlie Hong Kong noodle and rice bowls so healthy and happy is the fresh organic greens we source every day from the farmers who grow them in the sacred soil of the Pajaro Valley. They are fresh and delicious. When your body cries out for real food, stop by Charlie Hong Kong, Santa Cruz.
Treehouse dispenses not only the finest cannabis products, but information to those who want to know how to use cannabis for maximum benefit. Hello, I'm Jenna. If you would like to know how best to use cannabis, ask your friends and neighbors at Treehouse Dispensary, 3651 Soquel Drive. If you're 21 plus with a valid ID, no appointment is necessary and the information is free. Order online at ourtreehouse.io and pick up at our drive-thru. See you soon.
About that first impression. Hi, this is Bettina McBee from Bettina's Buzz on SantaCruzVoice.com. And that first impression is my business card created by Dynamic Press. It is my favorite business card. It gets everybody's attention right away. If you want to make a good first impression, get your business cards and any printed media at Dynamic Press. And tell Angelo Bettina sent you.
Righto, we're back from Aptos. Bobby in Healdsburg. There we go. Okay. So, I was mentioning just before the base that the Earth will spin faster today to create a second shortest day in history.
Yeah.
Yeah, our planet's been rotating at its fastest since records began in 1973. Less time in a rotation than usual. Yeah. 1.34 milliseconds less than the standard 24 hours. Not that anyone will notice, but...
Don't you think that's weird? Like, what is
slowing
going
well,
on?
yeah, it shows you nothing is absolutely stable.
Well, especially since all of the things that we know about the very subtle measurements of the speed of the Earth and the speed of the moon and all this is that the Earth is actually slowing down. So the days should be getting longer. Like, why all of a sudden is the Earth speeding up and the day getting shorter? Isn't that strange?
According to a 2023 study, a day on Earth was approximately 19 hours for a significant part of Earth's early history.
Really? 19 hours.
19 hours instead of 24.
That's what I mean.
Yeah.
We sped up. Days are getting longer. But all of a sudden now we're losing like milliseconds on the day?
I think we're slowing down.
So much so that
We're
they're
slowing
talking
down.
about doing a leap second and subtracting a second in 2029.
Over deep time, a day on Earth has become consistently longer.
That's very strange.
They say the primary culprit has been tidal friction from the moon.
But that's slowing it down.
Yes.
Uh-huh.
Caused it to gradually move further away from the Earth. And it moves away, the moon saps the rotational energy of the planet, which causes the rotation to slow and the days to get longer. So
We don't know why. We just know that's what
this
the
what
clocks
happens.
say.
Yeah, from when records began, this with the invention of the atomic clock, where we had this type of accuracy. That was 1973. This has been going on. So the shortest day ever recorded was 1.05 milliseconds less than 24 hours. Since 2020, Earth has repeatedly broken its own speed records. Yeah, and the shortest day ever now measured on record is July 5th, 2024, when Earth's rotation was completed 1.66 milliseconds faster than usual. Shortage day. Weird stuff.
Other things you can keep in mind is the call-in number. If anybody wants to chime in with some live interaction today, not during
You got
the
that up,
recording,
Mrs. Future?
but
You got the call-in
Tuesday
card? All right.
Tuesday, the 22nd of July, between 1 and 3, we
Like
are
right now?
live at 831-265-5050. So
831-265-5050.
we're curious if you want to call in for you.
Another interesting thing is that asteroid 33 Polyhemia is being studied, and physicists believe it might contain heavier elements than what are on Earth.
Okay, so
In an
this is a
asteroid.
remarkable
30
asteroid, huh?
Yes, it contains what they think are called kudos, or compact ultra-dense objects. Kudos.
Okay, so a very unusual asteroid is extremely dense.
Exceptional density. Yeah, it's maybe this was the key to
Oumuamua.
Oumuamua.
I thought Oumuamua was an interstellar object. Oh, you mean because it sped up as it left
It
the
had
solar
heavier
system?
elements, right? Maybe it had a heavier element in it. You remember the story of Bob Lazar and the heavier element 115?
That's right. Yeah. It had theoretically, it was in that island of stability at around 115 and a little bit higher.
Yeah.
That it could be stable enough to exist for longer than milliseconds or even shorter than that.
Yeah.
And what's very interesting is the Germans in World War II had their Bell anti-gravity device.
That might have been a heavier element also then, huh?
No, they were spinning
Mercury, wasn't it? Yeah, mercury.
Yeah, mercury, which is very heavy. It's very close to lead in the periodic table in weight-wise. Somehow, when you spin very heavy elements, it distorts gravity.
Actually, I think if you compare it to what Tesla was experimenting with, there may be some kind of a phenomenon that has yet to be really identified and worked with by science, but it's akin to the way that, say, sound resonance can be amplified to break a glass. And maybe there are some elemental substances whose atomic weight is such that it's perfectly resonant with the gravitational waves of the sun, that when it gets to a certain place in its orbit, it's amplified rather than diminished by the friction.
Yes, yeah. I was thinking that if element 115 were in Oumuamua and went on around the other side of the sun and the slingshot effect went into effect, wouldn't it make it faster? Like is what happened? The Oumuamua went faster than the normal slingshot effect, that no one could account for that by thinking that might have been an artificial asteroid. So could this heavy elements that are coming in from other solar systems have some anti-gravitational effect?
Yeah, well, of course, I've been spending my week watching Gayatri channels on revolutionary physics theories, and Professor Thornhill is a big proponent of the idea that we have an explanation for star formation and for gravitation and the nature of the cosmos that is actually much more electric in nature than gravitational. And this idea starts giving you a different way of looking at what's causing the motion of the stars and gravity and things like that. So if you start thinking about electrical charges underlying the motions of objects going through the universe, it's a whole new ballgame.
Yeah, different paradigm. So we got a caller, Mrs. Future?
We do. Let's say hi to Master Now. Master Now, are you there? Can we hear you?
Hello, futures.
Hey.
Calling from the future.
Nice.
Calling from the future as usual.
Yeah, all right.
Mastering. Yeah, mastering now and then.
Every so often.
So, first of all, happy birthday, Katia.
Oh, yeah.
Yay.
We'll pass
She's
it
in the
on to her.
background here. I'll relay the message.
Yeah, we'll get those out there. These.
Happy birthday.
Yeah, what a bright light.
Yeah.
So I sent you all 2 emails. One is on fire suppression device that Bruce Stamer came up with while we were going through our conflagrations. And it's the same thing that firefighters use if they're caught and they have it in their pack.
Structure
and you
wrap.
just crawl
Structure
inside
wrap,
that
right?
thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, we were
it's
talking
a
about that a
structure
little
wrap,
bit.
right.
I'm glad you gave us
Bruce
the name.
found
It's
it.
called structure wrap.
Firefoil
And
wildfire
I think
shields.
For Gregg.
Right.
Firefoil.
Yeah, and I think that could work for Gregg. I considered it as well. But the problem, when you live up one road, and it took the fire guy to tell me this because I was planning on just sticking around and fighting it. But he said, if anyone is here, our number one job is getting you out of here before we can do anything to stop a fire. So your best thing is just to get out of here. And he convinced me. So I didn't think about that anymore, but you could deploy that structure wrap right before you leave, and that would certainly stop the embers and such. And then the other thing, which I've been promoting ever since the Paradise Fire, even before that,
yes,
it's called magnesium oxide. And in that email, there's a link that shows them trying to burn a building, and half of it was built with that, and it just wouldn't burn. The other half burnt to the ground.
The Nazi Marks fire?
2 things. Well, actually, the one that I became aware of this a long time ago, but I tried to get the folks up when the big fire up in Paradise.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
She wants to
Ready to
say
hear
hi.
our birthday greetings from you, Michael. Katia's ready.
Well, happy birthday, Katia.
Hi, Michael. Thank
Hey,
you for
better
the
late
birthday
than never,
wishes.
right? Oh,
And
you're
text.
so welcome. You're really, really high joy vibration in our lives.
You too. We miss you guys.
Yeah, it's true.
And it's great. Yeah, it's great to hear you.
Well, thanks for popping on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was just sharing with
Yeah.
us some fire information because he's also a survivor of the CZU fire. I do believe. Yeah.
We watched the lightning and we saw the whole thing. The very first time I came to California, I wasn't living here yet.
Mm-hmm.
And I was in the Berkeley Hills one night, and I was just looking out over Sunset, and then I saw this lightning happening, and I went, oh, how beautiful. Well, I didn't know at that time that basically meant there was going to be a lot of fires, which there was. But that was how I got introduced to California. We're talking
You're
in
talking about
70
the big fires in, when
The
was
Berkeley
that?
Hills,
Like,
was it? Or like
yeah,
the Oakland
it was-
Hills?
That would have been 77.
Oh, that's
probably,
early. The
or
Oakland
even
Hills were early
yeah.
90s. Yeah, that was another.
Yeah, maybe 78.
Yeah.
Something like that.
Oh, that's
79.
really early.
one.
Yeah, it was a
Yeah,
long
those.
time.
That's not the ones I'm
I
thinking of.
know.
I'm
No,
thinking
those
of the
the
ones that the big eucalyptus trees all burned.
No, that was later.
Yeah, that was in like 19.
Yeah, it was
90 or something
90.
like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, yeah, just anything you can do. This magnesium oxide, knowing about it.
Magnesium
Just knowing about it,
oxide,
not
yes.
using it. It does,
Now, what is it? Is it
does
a
two
building
things.
material that you mix into?
It is a building material. It's used a lot in Europe. Everything about it is better than what we use right now in terms of fire resistance. But also, it won't allow mold or mildew to grow on it. So they were making mold-free rooms after the big floods in Louisiana some years back using this. So it's really an amazing building material that used to be easily accessed. You could get it right there in Oakland, and you could get it at one of the big box lumber stores. But they got pretty much diminished by drywall, the various established companies that wanted you to buy their stuff instead.
Yeah, I'm just trying to look
So-
at it. Okay, it's an insulating material. It's like an insulator that you'd put in the wall.
It comes in all kinds of ways. You can turn it into like a stucco, which allows the wood to breathe, and that's how they used it in ancient China.
Oh, I see. Aircrete.
So if you go through the
Aircrete.
links, yeah, well, there's that too. So if you go through the links, you'll see what got me started on it. It's just something to be aware of because I tried when I moved here. I tried to get some, but it's very hard to get now. I mean, you could get maybe a container full, but these days here it's hard to get. But that doesn't mean it won't work and it's not good. You just have to figure out how to get it now.
Yeah. Okay. Well,
in this country.
Has there been any progress in putting out fire with frequencies? There's some YouTube videos.
I've seen it.
On putting out fire with super low frequencies.
Yeah, I know you're fascinated by that, and I would love to see something other than spraying poison down.
Okay.
Which,
So
it puts the fire out, but then it's...
I'll check in on that. But there's another thing, since we have you on the line here, there's another piece that I wanted to find out if you know more information about, and that is involved with this local company that's taking CO2 out of the air and running it as a form of gasoline in your vehicle.
Well, yeah, it's right there. What is it? It's named after the guy who gave us Prometheus.
Prometheus, right? Prometheus, yeah.
It's the Prometheus company. So, yeah, I sent you the link there, and that's pretty much all I know about it, other than it's right there.
Okay, yeah, this is for those of the uninitiated. I've got one paragraph I want to read about it, and you see if this is more than what you know. It says, Prometheus Fuels, the company's core technology involves direct air capture of CO2, which is then combined with water and electricity to provide fuel, alcohols, primarily ethanol, via an electrochemical process using a Faraday reactor. This includes exposing a CO2 water solution to an electrified copper plate to catalyze reactions at room temperature. Carbon nanotube membranes filter and concentrate the ethanol up to 95% purity by allowing it to pass while blocking water, avoiding energy-intensive distillation. The concentrated ethanol is then converted into complex hydrocarbons like gasoline, diesel, or jet fuel using zeolite catalysts. When powered by renewables, the resulting e-fuels are carbon neutral. And they have a thing called the Titan Forge Alpha prototype, indicating into that. They apparently have achieved the technology readiness level of 9, which is indicating full commercial viability. Founded by Rob McGinnis, CEO, 601 Swift Street in Santa Cruz. That's what I found out so far.
Isn't that great? Yeah, isn't that great, though, that they're able to take the CO2 right from the air?
Yes,
right out
very
of the
interesting.
atmosphere.
And earlier details included commitments to millions of gallons to partners like American Airlines. So it sounds like it could be a pretty big deal.
Yeah. This is the kind of tech that I'm really excited about. There's a lot of tech I like.
Yeah.
This one, anything to reduce, I think oil is too valuable to be used to run our cars and trucks.
Yeah.
There's better ways to do that.
Yeah, why not use the CO2 out of the atmosphere?
So are you guys using any innovative tech in your food forest? How's your development plan going there in your new digs?
The most innovative tech, I will have to say, is old style. It's called worms. Oh, yeah. And soldier fly larvae.
Oh, yeah?
Oh, yeah. They eat everything. They eat everything. Doesn't matter if it's a bone, a corn cob. They'll just eat it, and they eat it faster than the worms. And then they become, and I'm going to mainly to feed. We have a lady we get duck eggs from, and I'm growing them to feed her ducks. And then our eggs have more protein and such. So that's not very innovative in that it's nothing new, but boy, is it effective if you want to repurpose your compost.
All right. Well, at least you guys are composting. I think when you moved in, you said you weren't even going to compost because of some other kind of pest, right?
Yeah, well, there's bears. There is bears, and our neighbor had us, not do it for a year, but Jaya just had to. It's like it was against her, like, being not to compost. And, we're doing okay. The bear hasn't come here yet.
The bear hasn't come, and then the neighbor hasn't figured out that you're composting, so all is well.
No, we're not. I'm sure we're not going to tell them either because he's a great guy. He's a really great guy. And he's also our local volunteer fire guy. So he's super great guy. So basically new tech, I love it. But what we're doing, if I could have gotten the magnesium oxide, they would have deployed it here.
But for the fire,
I just couldn't find it.
Yeah. Well, it doesn't sound like a complicated chemical, magnesium oxide. God.
So I have a question for you, Michael.
At all.
Were you, Master Now, were you still listening to the show when Alan pointed out that we're experiencing the shortest day in recorded history? Which, of course, recorded history of the shortest day only started in the 1970s anyway. But we're losing.
They think it used to be 19 hours, back thousands and thousands of years ago.
Yeah, I really didn't know that.
Yeah.
I had no idea. I mean, I'm thinking these are longer days, right? But you're talking about the 24-hour day.
Yeah, I think overall the days are getting longer.
That's
Time is
what's
dilating.
so strange. That's the big question mark is how is it that all of a sudden here July 22nd, we've lost a few milliseconds. The day is actually shorter, which means that
Some
that
of them
the
are.
Earth
Some
is
of them are
spinning
longer.
faster.
Earth will spin faster today, than it normally does. But overall, it's spinning slower. It's a little bit faster, but it's overall it's slower.
All right, so it's just a temporary wobble. We're gonna make
it's
up
a
for
small.
lost time later on.
It's a small thing.
But since Master now is on the phone, I thought we better let him know.
Well,
get his
I'd say
opinion.
if we were near the equator, maybe we would weigh a pound less or something, right?
On the shortest
Because
day.
of the centrifugal.
That's pretty random.
Because it's spinning faster. No, it's spinning faster. More centrifugal force, right?
I don't know. Let's ask some scientists. What do you think, Bobby? You think that it has any effect on our weight?
Well, yes, it should a little bit. But I did travel east all the way around the world once.
Yeah.
When I went to the Soviet Union in 1982. And so I continued on and went to Japan and then back to California when I flew out to London and then to get there. And so I went around the world. So I actually gained one whole day by going in that direction. Yeah, because I crossed the international date line and I gained one day.
I see. So that was the shortest day of your life. And it was less than 2 days.
Yes. So
you really did some time travel there, Bobby.
Yeah. So yeah, if
you do it again, can you start getting younger? If you just keep
Superman
going
did
east?
that. Superman did that in the movie.
Yeah, it worked for Superman.
Oh,
yeah.
If we can develop warp drive, and I know that people are working on that.
I'll get Grok 4 on it right away. Yeah. Yeah, we could do it. I think we're going to need more than one AI to figure that out.
I think this is time distortion, people.
Yeah. However, there is something that has got our astronomers' attention this week, even more so than last week, and that is that comet 3I Alice. They've now got the Hubble telescope on
the
it.
interstellar comet.
The Hubble's tracking it now. They're catching a glimpse of it, and they're just publishing the pictures online too.
Yeah, they're saying this is the only comet. It's on the only trajectory at the only time it will get the most inner planets, close up to the most inner planet. It's a very, very cosmically timed and placed fly through.
That's right. If I was some alien, I'd want to get a gander on this planet, take a look at it, and get out of here before they could do anything about it.
Yeah, well, they're very,
so quickly pass by interstellar of all the inner planets makes a lot of sense. If I were some alien NASA.
Well, I mean, that's kind of how we knew it was an interstellar object, is because it's breaking the solar system speed limit. It's moving too fast.
It's not following with regular pathways. Yeah,
that's right. If we had any space cops, this guy'd be getting a ticket.
If they could catch it.
It's also comes from a region of the Milky Way that's older than our solar system, older than our 4.6 billion year old. So they estimate that it came from a solar system that's 7 billion years old.
It'd be great to get a little piece of that.
Yeah, it's going to be a little different in terms of the materials that are there. I would say how they were forged and such. And the Hubble telescope images are out. You can look at them online. Pretty interesting.
I'm going to have to look a little more deeply. I wonder how they peg the age of the interstellar object. What is the telltale sign besides just how fast it's moving?
Well, we're made up of several galaxies that have merged over billions of years. So what it is obviously when you have more older systems, solar systems, you're able to probably create heavier elements in there.
Oh, but now you're talking about the heavy element.
Well, it's related. It's related. No, this could have an interstellar object could contain heavy elements too.
That's true.
True. They do say though that it contains abundant water ice with a dust composition similar to what we call D-type asteroids. D-type asteroids, and they're space
dense?
rocks packed with. Usually, they're packed with organic molecule-rich silicates and carbon with water ice. So if that is really interstellar, that is really interstellar. That could contain something more organic.
I see. So it's the theory of how old it is based on
Trajectory, looking at what's come
observing.
from, and they're looking at the spectrographic information from it, that sort of thing. So
it's coming in at a different angle. Like it's
that's
not
right. That's
in
right.
the plane of the ecliptic where all the planets are and the galaxy were aligned. It's coming in at a different angle. So it probably came from a different galaxy that had merged and collided with our Milky Way billions of years ago. And it's still in its older trajectory from a different galaxy that's older.
You know, guys, this show has gone so fast. We have only got about a minute left, and I just happen to have the sound of the Big Bang that I was planning
you
to
got the
play
synthesized
today.
version of the Big Bang.
So why don't we just listen to a few seconds of the sound of the Big Bang on the way out? This was created by Washington University professor John G. Kramer, and he created the sound of the Big Bang by doing a sonification on the heat map of the
Background radiation?
Yes, the cosmic background radiation. So here is what he gave to us to understand what the universe sounded like in the first 379,000 years.
Thanks for everyone.
Have a great future now, everybody.
Thanks, Bobby. Thanks, Katia.
Yeah.
Love you guys.
Yeah.